All right, so welcome to our first installment of Better Know a Cloud Spoker with Kevin Swigum. And Kevin, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. I know you're
Yep.
busy.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, I got some questions for you. So the first question I want to ask you is, how did you get to become such an awesome coder? So what's your background?
It's funny. I have kind of a varied background, not typical of a programmer. I actually started out as a business analyst, doing project management on tech projects, and through the course of doing that, I had such a hard time finding programmer resources to get the stuff done that I needed done that I said, I'm going to learn how to do it myself. Um, and I hate to admit it, but I actually started out as an Access programmer. That's how I got my foray into it, because it was just I just need to build simple systems to store, and that kept on building and building. And then I made the switch over to Java. Did Java programming for about 7 years, doing web programming, that type of thing, and then switched over to Force.com about 4 years ago. And was so thankful to never have to write a login screen again. And just kept on building on that.
Cool, good deal. All right, so what's the best? You talked about learning Java yourself and learning Force.com. What's some advice you can give people who want to learn? Let's say they may want to learn let's say Ruby or Force.com or something like that. What would you give them as some good advice?
Yeah, and I've gone through that a lot. And a lot of times, well, sometimes in a job you just get forced into it and you have a project. If you don't have a project, just come up with an idea of something that you want to build, and it's either you have a parallel system that you'd like to rewrite, or just a new idea, and just sit down and build it. Come up with your own set of requirements. I'll see a lot of people that'll sit down and say, "Oh, I want to learn a language," and they really have no task in front of them to learn it, so they just kind of flounder. So having that in front of them, getting a good reference. If you're a Force.com developer, there's a book out there, I think, that might
so
be
some hacks wrote that, right?
Yeah, some hack wrote that. A couple of guys, I don't know, but and then probably especially with Force.com, there's just so many online resources. I mean, the Twitter community is just second to none for the people that are out there that are willing to help. I mean, I was just involved in a conversation yesterday. One person was having a problem with the trigger, and I think there was like 5 or 6 people that came to the rescue, and it became this all, long discussion, and it was great. And just watching the developer boards on Force.com or whatever technology you're looking at, even if you're not looking for a specific answer, sometimes I'll just troll some of those just to look for what other problems people have, so that when I eventually do have that problem, I'll know where to look.
Gotcha. Okay, I had the same kind of advice too. I mean, I do a lot of demos because I want a problem to solve, and then I think as developers we're problem solvers. And so when you got that problem, it's nice to be able to take a different tool out of your toolbox, because everything in Force.com looks like Apex. So it's nice to do some Ruby stuff or some Scala stuff or whatever, just something different to keep things interesting. So cool. So so you mentioned learning stuff. I know a lot of people use Cloud Spokes as a way to learn new things. It's kind of nice to go in there and have small little programs that you can write in the meantime, or in the evenings, or in the meantime when you have some downtime. And I know you've been involved. You won 2 of our challenges. You totally crushed the Salesforce Org Chart Challenge. It was really good. And then you came in second in the network detection one. So what are some of the things you like about Cloud Spokes, and anything you'd like to see on the site? Different types of challenges, different types of features, go off in a totally different, avenue. What are you looking for? What would you like to see?
Well, the thing that I really like about Cloud Spokes is just the challenges it put out there. I mean, org chart is a perfect example. I probably would have never thought to say, "Oh, I'm going to sit down and write an org chart for this," and it forced me not only to address that challenge, but in the process, I learned a lot more about just the Google visualization technology and all the things that you can do with it. And it really encouraged you to take 2 different technologies like Google and Force.com and Chatter, and say, well, how can I make these 2 really work together and find the best to come up with something really cool? So that's what I really like about it, is that Cloud Spokes doesn't focus on one technology for any challenge. It's usually marrying up a couple of them, whether it's Force.com and Twilio, or Google, or a lot of iPad applications. I'd really like to see a lot more iPad applications. Not that I'd necessarily be the one capable of writing them, but I'd love to see the ideas that people come up with those. I think the site itself, I'd love to have other ways to see not only the winner submissions, but then even all the other submissions that are out there, some sort of forum that people can share what they've submitted. You know, the org chart one, again, I keep bringing that up because it's near and dear to my heart. But
and you won it,
and I won it. Yeah. There were some other people that actually posted their submissions as a video and a blog post on their own blog, and I loved reading that because it was, you know, they took a totally different tact on it, and it was very cool, and I actually learned quite a bit from those posts as well. So it's a great way to learn.
Cool. So since you did win those 2 challenges, what are you going to do with all your winnings?
Oh, I blew it already. It's gone.
Your wife took it, huh?
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, I think I paid taxes with it. No, you know, we actually had some fun with it. We actually went out and bought a canoe yesterday. So we're a canoeer now. So, and you know, getting it home was a whole nother challenge. But
okay.
But you know, just getting some fun stuff. You know, summer's coming up, and again, a lot of it probably disappeared on our vacation too.
Okay, cool. So here's my last challenge, our last question. This is kind of one I told you I was gonna hold off until the end. So who would you rather have dinner with, and why? Steve Jobs, the guy who invented the clapper, Halle Berry, or the guy who does the Old Spice commercials?
Oh, jeez. Huh.
And I mean, Halle Berry's an obvious answer, so you can probably throw that one out.
Yeah. No, I probably won't do the Halle Berry, or I won't have dinner with Halle Berry. I think it. You know, obviously, I'm talking to you on a Mac. I'd love to have dinner with Steve Jobs and just to get into his brain a little bit. It would probably be a very one-sided conversation. I'd just like to sit back and listen for a long time. But he's a really interesting guy, and just the technologies he's come out with has just been fantastic. So
cool,
total fanboy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us are. So okay, well, hey Kevin, I want to say thanks again for the time, and I appreciate it, and thank you for being our guinea pig on our first ever Better Know a Cloud Spoker. All right.
Oh, happy to do it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.